a todos, ¿qué tal? Estamos aquí en el programa de contenidos digitales de 15 en ICE, en esta plataforma virtual donde estamos volcando todo este contenido extra. Y ahora tengo el lujo de estar con uno de los mejores ponentes que tenemos aquí en ICE, Jamie, que es un hacker y viene de muy lejos. Ha tenido además un viaje bastante tortuoso para poder llegar aquí con nosotros. Así que, Jamie, welcome to 15 en ICE, welcome to our set. Hope you are fine here. Tell us something about you, because you are the only hacker that has come to our ENICE.
Something personal or something interesting?
Tell us something interesting.
Okay. Well, as I said earlier, I started hacking when I was 9. I'd always grown up with technology. It was
How old are you right now?
I'm 28 now.
28, yeah. Already father?
Yeah, already father, yeah. Got a little 2-year-old daughter that I'm trying to teach. So we go through kind of algorithm books at the moment. So like take 2 steps to the toy box, take 4 steps to your right, and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's quite interesting.
So apart from that, you started hacking when you were 9 years old. We believe that you are famous for hacking a Facebook site meanwhile a competition. And then apart from that, also some celebrities' websites, no?
Yeah, so Kim Kardashian. I've worked with quite a lot of celebrities over the last kind of 6 to 10 years. You know, a lot of them are completely open, don't really understand the concept of security, rely very much on a team to be able to kind of function in that element. So over the last couple of years, I've been building some kind of data sets and strategies around, you know, A-list celebrities to be able to protect them from you know, fans stalking as a prime example. We get that quite a lot. Even the social media profiles being impersonated, being hacked, being targeted. Again, damage to reputation, loss of revenue. So I work in that space. Primarily focusing though around the social side to security. You know, maybe a few years ago it was very much technical orientated, but everything's there for people to use. You know, you don't have to develop your new concepts or your new things. It's just utilizing existing technologies, but adapting that in such a way that's, you know, completely in dynamic to what's been there at that time. So,
me as a hacker also want to ask you something. What do you think about hacking right now? Do you think things are like a few years before? Do you think it's all about the technical skills? What do you think does make a good hacker, no? Which skill?
Well, I think it's very difficult because you have a doctor, right? So a doctor is a dermatologist, an oncologist. There's like so many variations of the word hacker. Growing up, you know, I did a lot of the web application stuff. I did a lot of the kind of trickery in a sense and, you know, impersonation, which led to social engineering, which is what I wanted to specialize in. Me, myself, I don't like people, you know. With my autism, I don't...
Thank you, Jamie, for telling me...
I don't like people because we're very routinistic. We do the same single thing every single day. We have no element other than that. We have no concept of what occurs after the fact, right? Whereas... After the fact. So...
Which fact?
Well, we wake up, we have a shower, we talk to our family, we drive to work, we arrive at the same time, we go through the same door, we have a preferred parking spot, right? We have 3 to 5 different types of lunch, or we go to 3 to 5 different types of places. What I'm saying is we do the same thing. So we are very much becoming very routinistic, and that is very scary for security. You said, okay, what's kind of adapted over the years? When I was growing up, we were more interested in data. Data was far more valuable than currency, and is today. But we didn't care about the financial means. We didn't care about making money from that data. You know, we was, you know, Banksy, the artist. I saw myself as Banksy of the cyber world. So I'd leave my digital graffiti tag, you know, I'd write my message or I'd tell them how I was able to break in, and I'd leave. I didn't care about the financial side.
That was now, the hackers 20 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, now it's very much sit there, opportunistic. A lot of the stuff now is state-sponsored, which is very, very hard because it's teams competing, or states competing in a sense.
But I was asking you more about people who want to get themselves as a good hackers.
You can't get yourself as a good hacker. You're either born with it or you're not born with it. You can't go to university and sit there for 10 years and say, I'm a good hacker. It's a lifestyle. It's something that you've got or you haven't got.
But do you think you always have that?
Me?
You know, whoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's very... I have never met a hacker that has...
What's a hacker for you?
A hacker for me is exploration, right? So it's someone that can adapt to any scenario, adapt to any situation, change the landscape of what's put in front of them to suit their needs, right?
Lateral thinking, no? It's one of the abilities that always is said when you talk about hackers, no? Lateral thinking. In Spain we call it pensamiento lateral. Lateral thinking, different ways to solve complex problems, no? Exploration, like you say.
Yeah, correct.
A curious guy and untidy guy, no? But do you think that's these abilities? Do you think you have it when you are born, but you don't think someone can train?
Yeah, exactly. I highly believe that, and the statistical research to back the fact up. You know, when you're at a kind of nursery or kindergarten, you focus around shapes, around objects, right? I've never met a hacker that hasn't got something wrong with them, if that makes sense. So like
something wrong with?
Yeah. So like for instance, autism in hacking as a prime example, right? That's the mindset, you know, the skill set to be able to do that. If you, for instance, might have some adaptation to like mathematics or shapes or like visualization or what adapts you to being a hacker, you know, you can't just go to school and say, you know, I'm going to study a business degree and then all of a sudden change to be a hacker. It doesn't work like that.
But I'm asking you to know your opinion, and to our audience, what would you have to say if a guy likes hacking stuff and guy or girl, no?
Carry on.
Carry on.
What else is there to say? Yeah.
But do you think these abilities can be improved by the training or no?
I wouldn't necessarily say
technical skills.
No, not at all. It's not all about technical skills. That's just one element. Same as a doctor, right? I always go back to that element to it. You know, you refer to people, you refer to departments, right? If something's wrong, it's not that speciality. So to say to that particular person themselves, I tell them to follow what they're passionate about. You know, to me, when I was growing up, it's a lifestyle. It's something that you live, you breathe. You know, you're not dissociated from that element to it. It's a challenge. But the worrying factor is it then becomes like a drug. So the more and more you find, the more that you want. So it's a thin line between legality and the illegality. So a lot of these sites that you were mentioning earlier where you can go online and do like hack in a box and stuff like that, they're wonderful, but they're not real life. It's not what occurs in a business or in a corporate environment. It doesn't teach the social side to security or the social engineering aspect to it. So,
but how come we have so much complex systems, solutions? We know about the same threats. 20 years ago, we are talking about spear phishing attacks, social engineering. 90s.
Kevin Mitnick. So I've spoken with him a few times.
We still see that the advanced persistent threats and all these sophisticated attacks that we have, state-sponsored attacks, all this stuff starts from a spear phishing, a very good spear phishing, because it's not the same when you can impersonate the guy and with the same look and feel, with the same mail address, or when you do phone spoofing and you can spoof the same phone number. There are certain things that make phishing very, very, very difficult to notice. But the thing is, how come with all these technical solutions, with all these events we have, with all these vendors making always developing anti-malware,
they all rely on the same data sets.
How come everything ends in a social engineering attack that starts all the stuff? Of course, there's a lot of stuff that goes beyond the social engineering. Maybe you have the initial foothold, and then you have to use these complex exploits to get there. But always, we are talking about the same stuff 20 years later. So
going back to that, why do you need to use the complex stuff? Why? Many years ago, yeah, great, wonderful. But now you don't need to do that. You know, you don't need to spend all time researching exploits or, try and find a way in through outdated legacy software. That's a great step, but it's after the fact of social engineering. You know, if you sit there, the odds are 9.9% times out of 10, the organizations are protected for it.
Do you think
they're using?
You could break almost any organization with social engineering?
Yeah. 100%, unless it's air-gapped and completely offline and in a secure facility that requires like military operations. But again, they don't get targeted much. You know, and if it does, it's state sponsored. Again, it's not Joe Blogs and his team or you know, trying to take over it. It's very much corporate sector orientated. And I do believe social engineering is the way. It's the easiest way.
It's the easiest way, but I'm not sure that you could break almost any organization. But it's interesting.
Give me an example.
Because we are always doing this awareness stuff.
But we're not, though. Every company
phishing campaigns in this I do phishing campaigns in organizations. I hack systems of organizations. I do technical pen testing, and I do awareness talks. So that you see, and you know, there are many organizations that do well the stuff. For example, they identify external mail with this coloring style. Many things, no?
Yeah, but so let's say that, right? But that particular company works with a third-party organization. Yeah, have you talked to them? Have you told them about their policies? They have a direct feed into that organization. You know, whether it's an API feed or whether it's a different feed, have you relayed the information around to them and with their staff? There's always a way in via social engineering. You can talk to everybody in the organization. Doesn't mean that the front of house or the receptionist is going to understand what you're saying.
But maybe you could get an initial foothold, but to do these complex attacks, then you'll need the other stuff, or no?
Not necessarily. You can use, like, I don't know, UAC exploits as a prime example, or you can use find a way in via credentials to access different systems, again, from the front of house.
No, it's known that it's always about thinking about the way, and the most clever thing is to look the easiest way, no?
The best hacks are crimes of opportunity. So not thinking about it, not like taking everything into account, but randomly doing what you do.
Do you know when you see Mr. Robot, everyone sees Elliot doing his magic, he talks about social engineering, but then he opens a Python console and starts dev, writing his function for exploit. Yeah. There's always, exploits are always needed.
Yeah, but that's fiction.
Yeah, we know that's fiction, but it's the fiction most, maybe that gets more near.
You can hack any organization without exploit via doing social side. It'd take you longer, but you can do it. Like, I don't believe in the fact that you have to sit there and mine exploit. 0 day is wonderful, great. Find something incredible.
Having a 0 day is a very difficult task, and you have to be very focused.
Well, like a doctor in a specific field.
Yeah.
You rely upon every element to it. You know, we use Metasploit or Rapid7 as a prime example. They've done the research.
Yeah.
Why be the researchee, be the attacker, be the guy that writes it up, be the policy guy? There's different ones. My speciality is social side. Why would I focus primarily on the technology?
You know, I have this problem. I'm asking you in my opinion because I would like to, for a hacker, I would like to have the knowledge to do all the things, no?
But it's impossible.
It's impossible. But
it's like a doctor that's like doing everything, an oncologist. It's impossible.
But that's a hacker, no? Trying to get beyond the limits, no? Or accepting the reality that you cannot do.
In that concept, yeah, but not in the concept that you've described of knowing everything. It's impossible.
Not knowing everything, but trying to be have a good basis of. No?
Yeah, I mean, like, you have your basic skill set, right? You have your tool set. So even from a social side, using technology. So we're running port scans. We're trying to find services that are running externally. You know, can we compromise them services? Are we getting responses back so we know, like, what version numbers that they're running? There is a concept of technology, but it's still the human side that's configured that's not updated that's not upgraded that. So my point is, yes, there has to be a skill set. It's like a Swiss Army knife. When you buy a Swiss Army knife, have you ever used every single thing on that Swiss Army knife? No. We use the saw, or we use the nail clippers, or like 4 different things out of 50. It's the same thing. But knowing where they are, like you said, is very important, and it does make a great hacker.
Jamie, thank you very much for being with us. I like very much this conversation with you. I will be here hours talking about this stuff because it's the stuff that I like, no? I know you are very tired. We also have to finish this interview to our audience. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed the experience and see you soon.
Thank you. Cheers.